Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Rogue Legacy. There we go. I was going to say Risk of Rain, and I'm like, why is it that whenever I'm like loading up a game that I've actually played a couple episodes for, I actually completely forget what the game is called? I don't know. It's going to be a consistent problem, probably because I do tend to spend a lot of my time like batch recording stuff. So, you know, I just got off playing Dark Souls, and now I'm playing Rogue Legacy. Priorities! Okay, so we've got this guy, but he's not too big of a deal. There we go. Yeah, so we're playing as a miner. Miners are, well, they're a little bit on the flimsy side. Not exactly keen on them, but at the same time, they do get us a little bit more money, especially if we get lucky. If we're really lucky, oh man, can we make bank from one of these guys. Not worth it. Okay, so we've got this room, which is a bit scary. We've got skeletons in it. We've got a heck of a lot of things in here. The question is there anything even remotely like worth being in here for? Oh, the answer is yes. It's just a matter of getting there. So we've got, well, we got a lot of these guys, but we also have a treasure chest, which is exactly what I was asking for in the whole terms of like getting lucky with drops, because, well, that was a lot of money. Not actually, the farther we get in this, the less money that is going to be worth, and the more we're going to have to really stress ourselves to go places to get things. But that's okay. Anyway, we've got some kind of interesting over here. Glad I didn't get hit, but it does put us in an awkward position where that knight is hiding directly beneath the fire stuff. Now I've got a fire shield, but that's not going to be useful. Okay, that worked out fairly well for us. Let's blow our fire shield and die. Oh well, to be expected, we were a miner. Miners aren't exactly expected to live in high combat situations. Of course, now I'm thinking about different definitions of miners and feeling a little bad about things. Anyway, let's we could be another miner, but glaucoma or OCD. Yeah, let's go for this one. And the not being knocked back and whatnot will be useful. Man, we don't have a we have a fair amount of money. Like, I thought 300 would be enough to afford something. The answer is absolutely nothing. Could be worse. Now, can we afford... Actually, no. We can afford stuff, we just don't need to because we already have it all. Which means we need to find us some fairy runes, which is probably a good reason why I am out and adventuring like this. Because, well, we need to get some stuff. I guess equipment load. It's like the only thing we can afford. And we are going to need that eventually, presumably. And, I mean, eventually our farming potential is going to be good enough, and my skill is going to be non-rusty enough that we'll be able to just, like, I don't know, sponge up money like a crazy person. Now, the one thing I do have to say, and this is kind of just a weird, like, irony of me playing, of the last 3 episodes, technically the first one was longer than this. Shoot, there's a Doomvis there. I was having one of those situations where my character was not turning around for whatever reason. It was like, well, this is a problem, because I wanted to attack the mage, but all I could do was back up and hope for the best, and so I had to jump. That was a problem. I guess not actually as big of a problem, it just requires patience, and I'm not a patient person. Anyway, so the last three recordings, episode 1 was done in 2 parts. The first one was like 5 minutes long, and this gotta love rooms like this one. So the first episode was done in 2 parts, a like 6-minute part and a 23-minute and 20-something second part. Episode 2 was 23 minutes and 27 seconds, and episode 3 was 23 minutes long and 24 seconds, I believe. Essentially, I've been like weird and savanting my time limitations here without even running a timer. Half the time I forget to set one, and honestly with a game like this, I just kind of go until I feel like the episode is done. Which should be fine, but it is definitely one of those where sometimes we might have like a longer episode than usual. Or I will, like, something weird and glitchy in the Matrix will happen, and every single episode will be the exact same length for no reason whatsoever. And I'm totally okay with glitches in the Matrix like that. I would just like some kind of explanation from my brain as to why that's happening. And I guess the answer is just I'm a creature of habit, and maybe just after a certain point, it becomes easy to recognize my own habits. Where are we even... Oh, okay. We don't even want to go there. I guess we could later. There we go. But we have no reason to be there right now. Okay. Now, if it does sound like I'm breathing in a little bit more intensely than usual, it's because, I don't know, I'm having this, like, really stuffy phase in my house, and it's kind of hard to breathe. So if you hear me, like, breathing deeply, it's not because I'm dying or extremely sad or something like that. It's because my tiny little nose is not doing a good enough job at getting me oxygen, and I'm talking with the other part of my body, so I'm slowly running out of air. Please send help. Need oxygen tank. Ooh, knives. Guess we already have these, but at least we can switch between dagger and not. Okay, this is actually legitimately terrifying. Because we have a fairy chest, take no damage. So if I go silent, it's because, well, that's the Let's Player focus style. Ah, shoot. I missed it. I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna miss the platform. And I missed the platform. And missed the chest. Oh well, I guess we'll give that another shot at a later date. Frustrating. It's definitely one of those where... Do you have... I assume, I mean, you can't exactly respond to me right now, but whenever I'm playing a game where it requires, like, a lot of focus, suddenly I become painfully aware that, like, my shirt is too tight in weird places, and it's... Well, to be quite frank, it's incredibly distracting and hard to deal with. What the heck is this? It's like a painting for another game. It has to be. Because it's definitely not for this game. Weird. Maybe one of their previous games that they had made in the past. That would make the most amount of sense if you ask me. Night Helm. Yes. More equipment. Let's break stuff. Now, I could fight the boss like a dumbass, and it might actually work out for us, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure if that's a wise idea. So let's clear out the area first. Worst comes to worst. Well, we make bank, and then go fight the boss and die, and, well, we're gonna die anyway, going on to the next area, so can't complain too much. So I think this is the best option available to us. Ow. I do kind of wish that the attack buttons and the jump buttons didn't both use my thumbs. I've definitely gotten used to games where... I guess there are a lot of games that don't even require jumping, but I guess that's just simply a problem with platforming / pseudo-fighting games. There's a specific platformer that I really liked the style of, but I couldn't get behind. It was called Ares, like, Evolution Agenda, Combat Agenda, or something like that. It was a really spiffy 3D, like, Mega Man-like. But the problem I had with it was just simply so hard to control after a while that it was not fun to play. Hurt my fingers really badly, specifically my thumb, because I use a Xbox 360 controller. But the problem is, well, the edges on those buttons actually hurt after a while of play, and it's just like, well, this is not fun. So, I've never actually completed the game, even though it was like one of the indie games, I guess especially early on in the indie rush, that I was most excited about. Kind of a shame, but I guess that's the way things go. Hey, developers! Villainous. Development time, 3 months. Release date, April 15th, 2011. Villainous was one of the more risky endeavors we undertook. The initial concept was a reverse tower defense, which sounded like it could be a good idea, but we had a hard time converting the could to would. Most people who have played the game thinks that the process was an obvious one, but lots of stress and arguments were involved in this project. The entire idea was scrapped 3 or 4 times before we settled on the final version. It's ironic, then, that to date, Villainous is far away one of our most successful titles. It was also the most painful. Neat. So yeah, it's just the studio having, I guess, kind of a memorial for their older games that they have worked on. Okay, where can I even go from here? I guess I can either go down or fight the boss. I don't feel like fighting the boss quite yet. Oh boy. That did not work out in my favor. Because now, I mean, I guess this would have been great practice for the fairy chest room, but a little bit too late. A little bit, too little. Oh well, not that big of a deal. We're still pretty good on health. We're doing quite well on money. And those are the more important things than... I don't know if the Doomvis hit me. Oh yeah, it did. But since we don't get knocked back because we're endomorph, or whatever it is, well, we don't have to worry about... Well, I guess getting knocked we don't have to worry about getting knocked back by enemies, but the problem is, It's a little bit harder to notice that we got hit by them, too. Let's take out the Doomvis before he becomes a problem. And I guess we only have a couple more rooms left. So pretty soon we're going to be leaving the area, which is, like, on one hand fine, and on the other hand terrifying. Oop. I don't want to leave the area because the enemies heal. I don't like that much, though I think... Oh, shoot. Terrible time to have to itch my nose and then, you know, get my hand stuck in my headphone cord as I'm reaching over, because it's wrapped around my leg and my Xbox cord. I really need a better setup for wireless controllers, but unfortunately the Xbox wireless controller for PC is like $60, and I do not feel like shelling out $60 for a thing that I'm going to have to charge batteries for, which is just more money, essentially. Anyway, we're still about at half health. There's a pretty good situation to be in. I'd hate to get die in this room, though. There we go. Taking him out, and at this point we're at, what, 1,300 gold? That's a pretty good farming session, if you ask me, because at the very least, I think we've already bought the Lich, but I could be wrong. So worst comes to worst, we can buy the Lich. We can buy... Really, we can expand our castle, which is the main thing I'm going for. It'd be nice to put a bunch of points into attack power, but at the same time, our money is better spent probably on either equipment upgrades or, you know, expanding the castle just to get more classes, I think. I don't know, I've never actually heard of, like, an official process for playing this game. I'm sure there's, like, a specific way that you can do it if you want to get through the castle the fastest. But when it comes down to it, I think everything caps out at, like, a certain point, and who even cares? It's an indie game that involves a lot of grinding. Worst comes to worst, spend extra grinding to be able to do what I want. I really should use my magic more often, but I don't. It is a problem. Okay, so we've got one of those eyeballs. We've got one of those big knights. Big knights are a bit scary, but not that problematic. Because at this point, I can just, like, hack at his cankles. And, well, you know what? Apparently, big knights do not have any kind of defense for cankles. I guess that's kind of one of the problems I maybe have for this game, is that the enemies, especially the, like, static enemies, are kind of dumb. They just sit there. And realistically, especially because I'm such a big Dark Souls fan, I think I've mentioned that I've been playing this at least several times on this series, but, like, when it comes down to it, in Dark Souls, the enemies are, well, complicated and hard to fight, and in this one, it's just like, well, if you're standing directly in front of them, they'll attack you. Otherwise, they'll leave you the hell alone. And, well, I mean, I guess the eyeball things do attack straight through the walls, which is a wee bit frustrating. Don't want to get hit. Take that guy out, just bumming him in the corner. Take out the wisps, and there we go. Wow, we're actually making quite a lot of money from this room, which is great, because, well, the more money we have, the better we're going to be the next round. I love... Ooh. We're definitely injured. Ah, crap. Probably should not have tried to Twitch turn around, but you know what? It worked out. We made fair money from that room. Run. Okay, so what do we got? We've got congenital insensitivity to pain. No pain. Chickens freak me out. Weak limbs. I guess we'll go with this one, I think. I'm not entirely sure what CIP does, but the other one just gives you fart clouds. Anyway, what do we get? We can upgrade the Shinobi into a Hokage. That could be useful. We've got a lot of money. We could actually pump two or 4 more points into damage. That could be really useful. Apparently we can't upgrade the miner, though. Bit disappointing, but not the end of the world. And we could do potion up. Or we could do a combination of the two. So what I'm going to do is go Hokage. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've watched Naruto, so sue me. Anyway, does not look like... I think we're going... Yeah, we passed up on unlocking the Lich. That's okay. And we're going to get an attack up, which is going to be useful. Now, what did we unlock here? We got armor up. Ooh, that's really useful. And down strike up. I don't use a whole lot of that. I probably should. Oh, we're a miner. I was not paying attention to that. Anyway, I think we unlocked something new. No, we didn't. Oh, yeah, we did. We got the Knight Helm, which we can't afford, but when we get, wouldn't be half bad. But not the greatest. It's just, like, health and mana upgrades, which is, I guess, lower on the list in terms of, like, my list, because when it comes down to it, I'd much rather have I would much rather have extra armor or damage, because, yeah, health is nice. Oh, we can't see how much health we have. So I guess we have to just guess until we're dead. That's going to make this an interesting run. And I like interesting runs. So, again, we're the miner, which is a bit concerning. But not that concerning, because when it comes down to it, I don't know. The money is useful, and we should be able to live long enough to at least maybe make a little bit. I'm not betting for myself here. I'm very accident prone, and well, maybe a bit. I don't know if stupid is the proper word to use in this situation. I guess it's mainly I don't think too far ahead. I'm just like, I'm just gonna charge forward and I'm gonna win because I'm Wanderbot and I win stuff and well, stuff and stuff is a terrifying phrase. Terrifying butchering of the English language. Let's use that wording there. Of course, my phrasing is never going to be particularly perfected, but that's okay. I don't even know if we've taken damage this entire time. I guess maybe not knowing what my health is actually going to be a boon for us as opposed to a detriment. But I guess one way or another I'd be taking the damage, so who really cares? Also, since I have the irritable bowel syndrome, whenever we jump or double jump, we make farting noises. Makes me giggle. Anyway, looks like we might actually have trouble. We did take damage on the fire traps, so we might not be able to achieve our dreams of at least buying one upgrade as the result of this. Ow. I'm apparently way too floaty when I jump. Gotta work on that. At least we're getting chicken, but considering we only have about 70 health and we've taken, what, 34? Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. I'm just going to... There we go. I probably not going to be able to... Actually, no. We did make enough money there. I was like, we're not going to live through this. We're not going to live very long at all. Let's just blitz it and hopefully we make enough money from something. Okay, so what do we got? We have that. 2 left hands, can't cast spells. Well, let's go for the big ol' Hokage and use his flash spell. Actually, we do have enough money to afford a little bit of something. Specifically, a very, very useful something. Armor bonus. That's going to make us one nice tough cookie. And the higher armor is, well, presumably the more survivable we're going to be. Which is great. Because, well, I very much like to be able to do like a full miner clear of at least Castle Hampson. Because if I can clear Castle Hampson with a miner, especially with like gold up and some of the gold runes, well, that would put us in a very good spot. Anyway, I'm going to hide down here, wait for the fireballs to pass, and then just... Oh, wow. Apparently with Gigantism, this guy just wrecks everything. One hit, 70 damage. Damn. That's a good situation to be in, though. Boy, that's a lot of scary up there. That's a lot of scary all over the place. Got to avoid everything. There we go. Okay. Luckily, the fire mages are well within our reach, our massive ham-handed reach. And actually, we're a little low on health, apparently. I always thought, oh, no, Hokages have lower base health. For a second, I thought we were a barbarian because we're so big, but no. It doesn't actually matter what class you are. Size is determined more by genetics than, yep, don't want to be in that situation. Now, we've got a lot of scary around here. Managed to dodge that somehow. Can't exactly say how or why, but we did, and I'm happy about it. Now, I believe this is going to be an exit out of here. Don't want to be in there if it is, because that's where the pain happens. Okay. So I guess I'll just take this way out and see. Well, that was pointless. Just walked right into the sides of the spikes, which honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it happened, so... But realistically, what... I don't know. There are many games like that where like the hitbox of the spikes encompasses the sides, but from like a real-world sense, if I walk into the sides of spikes, it shouldn't insta-kill me. In fact, it shouldn't even hurt me. It should just be like, oh, there's spikes here. Well, let's kind of like tread past them carefully and not prick our elbows. But no, it's just like, you have walked into a spike. It hurt. You died. It's like, what? But I guess that's pretty much holdover logic from older video games, so... I mean, this game is definitely a holdover logic game from older video games. We're a wee bit injured. I made some dumb mistakes here. think I missed entirely. That's frustrating. Let's just hit him with our spinny discs of fury and continue on. We're probably not going to make it very far this round unless I get lucky somewhere. Prince's Journal, entry number 3. I have paid my dues and entered the castle proper. That devil, Sharon, has taken all that I own as payment. He has even pilfered my private coffers. I have left my wife and children with nothing. He says it's the price for any and all who hazard the depths of the castle. He says it's fair. It's fair because all who have entered, none have returned. But I will change that. I will be victorious. There's no greater swordsman than I, even amongst my siblings. I'm still curious about who the prince is, because I don't think it's us. And apparently that coin is lost to us. Okay, we did actually make it through. That was more than a little dicey. I'm not very good at doing the down strikes. Originally, I enabled it on my controller. To press down and down strike, but that actually resulted in more deaths than it resulted in lives, and was kind of painful. Anyway, let's see, we got that. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for the 1. I always like the visual appeal, even if it does really nothing for us. Okay, so we're a bit poor. We could afford the new helmet, but that's not so great. Or we could afford more armor, which to me is a far more attractive prospect than pretty much anything else. The higher our passive armor is, presumably the less damage we're going to take. I do kind of hope that armor is based on a flat reduction or something instead of a percentage based, but I'd have to look up more of this game to actually know that for a fact. So, I think this is a pretty good stopping point. My voice is getting tired, and that's always a good time for a good old stop. So I will see you guys on the next episode of Rogue Legacy, and with any luck, we will make some pretty good bank and afford like many armor upgrades to the point where we are some kind of immortal tank man, which would be beautiful. I like being a tank. Anyway, I will see you guys then, and as always, thanks for watching. I'm on a screw with the wiggly tree behind me.